Have you ever seen this in a test and thought, how do I do this? I can't do this. You're not alone. But today I'm going to show you 4 simple and powerful methods to crack them with confidence every time. Whether you prefer quick tricks, a calculator, or the trusty quadratic formula, I've got you covered. Stick around till the end to find the method that works best for you. I'll be covering 4 different methods of solving these equations, starting from the easiest to the more advanced. Video chapters are included, so feel free to skip to the method you need most. Very quickly, let's do a recap. A quadratic equation is any equation that looks like this, where you have x to the power of 2. That's what makes it quadratic. And a, b, and c are just numbers, and our goal is to find the value of x that makes the equation true. A stands before the x to the power of 2, b stands before the x, and c is everything else that doesn't have an x attached to it. Okay, so let's jump into the first method. The first and easiest method is factorizing, or factorization. We start by finding the values of a, b, and c, and as previously mentioned, the a is the number in front of the x squared, so in this case it's 1. B is the number from the x, so it is 5, and c is everything else, so it'll be 6. Now we're going to put these values into a table to easily solve for x, so we start by drawing a sideways cross. Then we're going to put a in the top left hand corner, b in the top right hand corner after the line, and c in between. Then just simply put their values underneath, but do it above the line. Okay, this is important. I put 1 and 1 underneath the a column. This is because what comes underneath this column has to multiply to be a. So the only way we could do this is by using 2 1s. In the next column, the c column, we have options. We can do 6 and 1 or 3 and 2, as both of these options multiply to give us c, which is 6. I went with 3 and 2. But it doesn't really matter. Then for the last column, this column works a little bit different than the rest. Instead of multiplying, we need to add to get b. So we just cross multiply. 1 times 2 gives 2, and 1 times 3 gives 3. Now, if we did this correctly, these values should add to give us b. So let's check. And yes, we are right, as 3 plus 2 is 5, which is equal to b. Now we are basically finished. For the last step, we simply write the brackets, which is the a column number multiplied with x plus the first c number, end bracket, and then the same for the next bracket. So the second number of a times x plus the second c number, and this whole thing has to equal 0. We can then solve for x by stating that one or the other of these brackets have to be 0 to multiply to equal 0, as common math rules dictate. So x is either -2 or -3. The second method is the quadratic formula, a very easy and 100% reliable way of solving for x, as this method is always correct, with no room for error if done correctly. It looks a bit tricky, but it's really simple, so let's break it down. The first step is the same as in method 1. We find the values of a, b, and c in the equation. Then we write the formula, which is x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared, minus 4 times a times c, and all of this divided by 2a. And here it is, the big scary formula. Now we just substitute in the values for a, b, and c, which we got from the original equation. Then we solve the easy formula. Here I'm just solving the formula. I'm using a calculator because all of this can just be put into a calculator to easily get your answer. The answer we are left with in the end is x is equal to -9 plus or minus the square root of 33 divided by 4. So one answer for x is where the square root is positive, and the other answer is where it is negative. Later on in math, I'll show you where these values are important in the parabola. The next method is the calculator method. Now, wait, before you laugh or click off, just have a listen. So just like in the previous 2 methods, we need to find a, b, and c. You already know this, so I'm going to just fast forward. Most calculators have a built-in equation solver, so let's show you how to use this. Obviously, turn the calculator on and then look for a mode button. Then you're going to want to press the corresponding number of the function that says EQN for equation. Now it's asking what type of equation you want to solve for. We obviously want to solve for a quadratic, so choose the one we have an x to the power of 2. Then it's going to ask you to input the values of a, b, and c. To do this, simply type in the value and then press equal. So if you hear b, press 9 and then equal, and then c, press 18 and then press equal. It's as simple as that. After you press equal, the calculator is going to give you x1. This is the first x value for which the equation is true. Then, if you press equal again, it's going to give you x2, which is the second value that makes the equation true. To write this in factorized form, simply change the signs of both answers for x and put them in brackets, and say that these multiplied with each other have to equal 0. It's as simple as that. Now you have both the answers for x and you have them written into factorized form. This is as easy as pie. Let's move on to the next method. Before we get to the final method, just a quick heads up. I've made a 100% free worksheet for you to practice everything we've covered so far. It's linked down below in the description, so if you really want to lock in these tips, go check it out. And while you're there, drop a like and subscribe. It helps a ton and keeps more math videos coming your way. The fourth and final method is completing the square. It's a bit more tricky, but loads of fun, and it helps a lot with later on sketching parabols. After getting the values of a, b, and c, we're going to rewrite the equation, but take the c term across the equal sign, changing its sign, so the 5 becomes negative 5. Then we're going to put the b value into a formula, which is b times a half squared. Using this formula, we get an answer of 9. Now, we take this 9 and add it to both sides of the rewritten equation. The reason we add it on both sides is that so that they can cancel each other out. If you take one 9 over, it becomes negative, cancelling out the positive. So we actually add nothing to this equation. Now, you should be able to factorize the side with the a and b to form a bracket squared. If you can't do this, then somewhere your math went wrong. And at the other side, we can just simplify. Then to get rid of the power of 2, you simply square root both sides. Remember to add a plus minus sign to the side without an x, as this side's 2 can be both negative or positive, as both negative 2 and positive 2 squared is equal to 4, which is what we need. Then we just need x to be alone on one side of the equation, so we take its positive 3 over the equal sign, changing its sign to negative 3. Then our two answers are negative 3 minus 2, which is minus 5, and negative 3 plus 2, which is minus 1. And then you could also very easily just rewrite this into factorized form, as shown in the previous method. These are truly the best ways to solve quadratics. If you've got any math topic that still makes your head spin, drop it in the comments. I read every one and I'm here to help. And don't forget about the free worksheet in the description, and I'm open to feedback on it. I'm working on a video about inequalities. If that interests you, go watch it here once I'm done. Thanks for watching. Now go solve some problems like a professor.